Ambassador Zethkar's crystalline exoskeleton clicked rhythmically against the council chamber floor as he reviewed the final documentation. The Galactic Council had deliberated for 3 standard cycles, analyzing every aspect of the peculiar species that had recently achieved faster than light travel. The conclusion was unanimous among the 47 member species: humanity was irrelevant. Their technology is primitive, declared the Vorthak representative, its tentacles writhing in what passed for dismissive laughter among its kind. Chemical, rockets, and crude fusion drives. They barely qualify for spacefaring status. The ethereal collective's representative, a being of pure energy contained within a shimmering field, pulsed agreement. Their military capabilities are laughably outdated. Kinetic weapons and nuclear warheads. We moved beyond such barbarism millennia ago. Zethkar nodded, adding his own observations to the official record. Their social structure remains fragmented. Hundreds of competing nations, multiple languages, conflicting ideologies. They lack the unified purpose required for meaningful galactic participation. The decision was filed in the Great Archive. Humanity, species classification, irrelevant. Expected galactic impact negligible. Recommended action benign neglect. The message was transmitted to humanity through standard diplomatic channels, translated into their dominant languages, and delivered to their various world leaders simultaneously. The Galactic Council expected the usual responses they had witnessed from other primitive species upon receiving such news: despair, desperate pleas for reconsideration, or aggressive posturing that would only confirm their irrelevance. Instead, something unprecedented happened. Dr. Sarah Chen, humanity's chief xenologist and the de facto spokesperson for Earth's response, read the Council's declaration during her morning coffee on a Tuesday. She set down her mug, looked at her assistant, and said, "Well, that's unfortunate for them. Has the Morrison project team finished their calculations on the quantum entanglement drive?" Within hours, the response went viral across human communication networks. Irrelevant Tuesday began trending on social media platforms. Memes flooded the digital space. A popular video showed a construction worker pausing mid-swing with his hammer, checking his phone, shrugging, and returning to his work with the caption, "Council says we're irrelevant. Guess I'll finish this bridge anyway." The response that reached the Galactic Council 3 days later was not what they expected. It wasn't a formal diplomatic protest or an emotional plea. It was a simple message from Dr. Chen. "Thank you for the notification. We acknowledge your assessment and wish you well. Best regards, humanity. P.S. We'll keep you updated on our progress." Ambassador Zethkar found this response troubling. In his centuries of diplomatic service, he had never encountered such casual dismissal of the Council's authority. Primitive species typically either cowered or raged. They didn't simply continue. Over the following standard cycles, reports began filtering in that defied explanation. Human colonies were expanding at an unprecedented rate. Their technology was advancing in ways that violated the Council's carefully constructed models of species development. They had somehow bypassed the traditional technological progression entirely. The breakthrough came when a Council surveillance probe detected something impossible near the human colony of New Geneva. The humans had constructed what appeared to be a functioning faster-than-light communication array using principles that the Council's own scientists had deemed theoretically impossible just decades earlier. "How?" Zethkar demanded during an emergency session. "Our projections indicated they wouldn't achieve quantum communication for at least 500 of their years." The Vorthak representative's tentacles had lost their earlier smugness. "They're sharing information at rates we didn't think possible. Their fragmented structure, it's not a weakness. Each group is pursuing different research paths simultaneously. They're essentially running thousands of parallel experiments across their entire species." More disturbing reports followed. Human traders had begun appearing in neutral space, offering technologies that established galactic powers found genuinely useful. They weren't seeking permission or following established protocols. They were simply trading. As if the Council's Opinion on their relevance was genuinely irrelevant to them. The situation reached critical mass when the Krillian Empire, one of the Council's founding members, quietly negotiated a separate trade agreement with the humans. Within a single cycle, Krillian industrial output had increased by 30%, using human optimization techniques. Ambassador Zethkar found himself in an unprecedented position, requesting a meeting with the species his own council had declared irrelevant. Dr. Chen, now graying at the temples, met him at the human orbital station above Earth. She greeted him with the same casual professionalism she might show any colleague. "Ambassador," she said, gesturing to a conference room with a view of Earth below. "What can we do for you?" "Your species," Zethkar began, then paused. "You were declared irrelevant by the most powerful organization in the galaxy. How are you advancing so rapidly?" Dr. Chen smiled, and Zethkar realized it wasn't the expression of submission or defiance he expected. It was genuine amusement. "Ambassador, you made a fundamental error in your assessment. You evaluated us based on what we had, not on what we do. We build things. We solve problems. We keep going. Your council's opinion, while noted, doesn't change Tuesday's construction schedule." She gestured toward Earth, where city lights traced patterns across the dark hemisphere. Every day, 8 billion humans wake up and decide to make something better. They don't wait for permission from galactic councils or advanced civilizations, they just build. But surely our declaration affected your species' morale, your sense of purpose. Dr. Chen laughed, a sound that somehow conveyed both respect and pity. "Ambassador, we've been declaring each other irrelevant for millennia. Nations, religions, ideologies, we're experts at being dismissed. The difference is, we learned long ago that irrelevance is just someone else's opinion, and opinions don't stop hammers from swinging or minds from thinking." Zethkar left Earth with a new understanding that would reshape the Galactic Council's approach to emerging species. Humanity hadn't become relevant despite being declared irrelevant. They had been relevant all along. The Council simply hadn't understood what relevance meant. Back on Earth, Dr. Chen returned to her office, where a message waited from the Morrison project team. The quantum entanglement drive was ahead of schedule. It was, after all, just another Tuesday.